Guys, what's going on? It's your boy Josiah Hine. Happy Thanksgiving. I just wanted to make a little video about what Thanksgiving is. Um, Not a lot of people knew what Thanksgiving was, and a lot of people were asking me today around Australia, so what is Thanksgiving? And I kind of told the story so many times, I figured, why not make a YouTube video and tell y'all Australians what Thanksgiving is all about? What do you think? So Thanksgiving, the biggest story around it is the story of the settlers that were on the Mayflower, a famous ship that came from Netherlands and settled in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And these settlers were in for one of the worst winters in Massachusetts history, 1620. 50% of them died, and 50% of the native, I think they were called the Wachumak. What's the name of that tribe? The local Native American population in Massachusetts. The leader of the group was called Machuset. Anyway, so 1620, 50% of them passed away. Such a brutal winter. They didn't know how to farm. They didn't have enough food, and they just froze. And a lot of the Native Americans died too. 1621 comes around. They have a bumper crop. It was recorded as like the biggest crop they'd ever seen or heard of. And typical in that time of year, late fall, to have a big feasting period. The unique thing about this was them and the natives felt like they were in it together to survive this brutal winter. It was like a common enemy came, right? Like if you've seen Game of Thrones, the second those Night Walkers are attacking, it unifies even rival troops, right? So this element of like the winter could kill us all brought unity. But it wasn't just that. The Native Americans actually taught the English settlers how to farm this difficult land and how to grow crops and some techniques. So even the fact that the English had that bumper crop was actually in part due to the native education. So there was this beautiful thing that happened. They feasted for days, and it happened in 1621 in Plymouth, Massachusetts. So what it is a beautiful thing where Native Americans feasted with European settlers to give thanks to God for the harvest. Now there was, and that was another big thing. These were a big Christian group, and they would often thank God and thank the provision and thankfulness for the harvest. A couple of little tidbits, which is interesting, is that recently this has been attacked a lot, and you've probably seen it online, but a lot of people feel that a lot of that 1621 stuff is propaganda, and it isn't fully propaganda because I think it did happen. But the interesting thing is apparently the British settlers did not invite the native people. That the only reason the native people arrived was the first night of feasting was so festive that they were all drunk and merry, and they started shooting their firearms in the sky. And because these guys were such good people to these local natives, they were worried that they were under attack from a rival tribe or a rival colonist group, thinking, "Oh my gosh, we don't know if they get overrun, and then all of a sudden these European guys hate us, we're cooked, so we better go defend them because we have a good relationship." So apparently they showed up with 80 horseback soldiers to defend the Plymouth, Massachusetts people, and it ended up being a false alarm, and they partied together for the remaining 3 days. So that's an interesting one. The other thing is that the word Thanksgiving wasn't used during that time. The word Thanksgiving was penned later by George Washington, the first president of the United States, and not actually brought together as the Thanksgiving, because that was a Thanksgiving for the battle where they defeated the British in Saratoga. So it was a big victory for the United States, and George Washington won the Battle of Independence and declared a day of Thanksgiving for the victory of the battle. So the word Thanksgiving was not originally for feasting. And then when the word feasting got brought together, was really all codified in Abraham Lincoln. Actually, the woman that wrote Mary Had a Little Lamb wrote Abraham Lincoln a letter asking for a 4-day weekend to celebrate Thanksgiving. And 1 week later, Abraham Lincoln made it law. Thursday, Friday, national holidays for Thanksgiving. Saturday, Sunday, 4-day Thanksgiving feast. Thank you, Honest Abe, Abraham Lincoln, the man that grew up with 3 walls in his home. What a guy. Illinois represent Abraham. Jesus loves you, baby. The interesting thing, another cool thing is that I learned recently was in 1580, I think it was, maybe it's 1560 actually. 1560, about 60 years before Plymouth ate with the natives there, a Spanish group settled in St. Augustine, modern-day Florida, put across on the beach, ate with the native people all together. And I think that was more about celebrating the new colony, celebrating the new land they had just taken. So that's the first record of Europeans feasting with native people. And that was, I think, the Tamaruac tribe, I believe, in Florida. I think I'm wrong on that name, but it's something like that. And so there's this, it's kind of like a commemoration of the last things that were around. Like in Plymouth, there was a lot of turkeys and geese. So they probably ate turkeys and geese, not necessarily turkeys and pumpkin. In other areas, pumpkin's one of the last kind of big fruits to be harvested towards the end of the winter. Another fun fact, Canada celebrates Thanksgiving 6 weeks before America. Canada celebrates the second Monday of October. The United States celebrates the fourth Thursday of November. So it is significantly later. But the United States really send it a lot more because they got a 4-day weekend. Canada really has the feast on the Sunday and then takes Monday off work. You know, and then why is these football games being played on Thursday? That was the Detroit Lions had the idea of playing. I think they've played the most Thanksgiving games. I think they play every year. Happy Thanksgiving, Detroit Lions. So, guys, that's the history of Thanksgiving. But really, all it is you gather around your family, you have beautiful food, massive feast, and usually you go around the table and you kind of say what you're thankful for. Maybe you write it down. You say what you're thankful for that year, whatever it is. So that's modern day Thanksgiving, baby. And hope you enjoyed this little 8-minute video. Guys, Jesus loves you. Please, I'm trying to launch this YouTube more and more and more. So to help me, if you do, just hit a like button, even if you thought it was 50-50. If you did subscribe, that's even more probably amazing because it's just raises the amount of awareness I get. And even if you turn on bell notifications of when I post another video, yeah, guys, obviously I post shorts regularly, but I'm going to be posting more and more long forms more and more regularly and starting a podcast with all this equipment. So, guys, Jesus loves you, baby. Let's have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving. Big love, baby.